Gather round, folks, and I'll tell you a tale of a guy and a couple of his friends that had an idea. An idea for a TV show about comics back in the infancy of YouTube and our halcyon days of youth. We called it Last Wednesday, and we talked about comics, news, and reviews. This was long before monetization was a thing. I mean, hell, this was long before there were ads on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube used to be ad-free. We did it all for fun. Well, I did anyway. But that's a story for a different time. On occasion, we'd make it to a convention and talk to some of the creatives that made the books we loved. This is how I made friends with and got to interview some of my favorite people in comics. Speaking of which, prepare for incoming time capsule in 3, 2, 1.
Continuing our coverage of MegaCon 2007 here on Last Wednesday, we are at an independent press panel. And what's your name, sir?
It's Chris Moreno.
Chris Moreno. Nice to meet you. What book are you currently working on?
Right now I'm working on Sidekick with Paul Jenkins for Image Comics.
Very cool. And how did you get into the industry?
Basically through apprenticeship. I started taking comic book art classes with an artist named Tommy Castillo. And through taking his class, he took me on as his assistant and started bringing me to conventions, and it was at the conventions I started meeting other creators, and that's where I met writer Tony DiGirolamo, who was doing a book called The Travelers, and he had an artist leave the book and was looking to kind of fill that position, and it was kind of a right place, right time scenario. And from there, I moved on to doing some art and role-playing games, and then one of the bigger books I got was Dracula vs. King Arthur that came out from Silent Devil Productions, and then I've just, each job is just kind of built from there. So,
excellent. It sounds like you're off to a great start. Have you always been drawn to comics? Is this something you've always wanted to do, or did you just kind of stumble upon it?
Well, I mean, I've always drawn since I was very little. My dad was a bit of an amateur artist. He never really pursued it as a career, but he always encouraged us to do it. So they've always been comics, in the house. He was the big comics fan, so,
I like to hear that. It makes me happy to hear that parents get kids into comics. My dad got me into comics as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so I've been reading comics for a very long time. So is this your first MegaCon?
No, this is actually my third MegaCon.
Excellent. And I'm guessing since you've been here 3 times, you like the show?
Yeah, I do pretty well here, and I like the crowd out here, and it doesn't hurt to kind of get away from the cold weather. I'm living in Pennsylvania right now, so.
Brr.
Yeah, seriously. We're leaving like solid ice, so.
I'm sure you're looking forward to getting back to all your cold weather, huh?
No, not really.
No, not really. Okay. Enjoying the Florida weather then, eh?
Yeah, it's kind of breezy, but believe me, it's better than where I'm at. So.
Excellent. Are you going to go to San Diego this year?
Yes. I usually make it out to San Diego. It's a great show to do, if only just for a lot of the people you meet and connections you make and that kind of thing.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's a monster show that people should go to.
It's insane. It's almost like the population of a small town invades San Diego every year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's almost frightening.
Yeah, it's like that show, The 4400. It's just like people just appear and they're occupying space in San Diego, and they take up all the streets, and
that's amazing.
It's nuts. It's nuts. It's huge show.
Excellent. And any plans after Sidekicks? Do you have anything planned after that?
Well, we have the first miniseries of Sidekick is finishing up, and then we've got the trade coming out in June, and in the same month we're going to be starting another miniseries, another short 2-issue miniseries with Sidekick. I do a weekly webcomic called Super Frat that's on silentdevil.com, and they were my publisher on Dracula vs. King Arthur. We had a first collection come out, and then we've got another one coming out in a couple months.
Excellent. And the one thing that you could tell budding pencilers that are watching this show, what should they do to get into the industry?
Just, keep at it. Take every bit of criticism you can, and, try your best to grow as much as possible. Try a lot of different things. Definitely kind of like stretch beyond your comfort zone. Everybody has things that they like to draw. Everybody has things that they feel like they're good at drawing. But in order to kind of make it in the industry, you need to be prepared to draw anything and everything, and to just not limit yourself in that respect, because the opportunities that are going to come may appear hidden if you're so focused on doing things a certain way. I've been lucky enough to kind of to survive off of my career, as opposed to like having a day job, by leaving myself open to a lot of different opportunities, whether it was gaming art. I'm doing a lot of work with ad agencies right now. Just anywhere that you can get your art out, is going to help, make it possible for you to do it as a living.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, Chris.
You
I
bet.
really appreciate it.
Thanks.
It was really enjoyable to see you on the panel, and we'll see you on the floor.